All right, everyone. So as you can see today, we're going to be talking about the Persian Empire. So the Persian Empire spanned from all the way in Egypt, all the way into the Middle East and beyond, also up to Eastern Europe. Right now, Iraq and Iran rather are the two main areas where that's located. You can also see Mesopotamia that we talked about earlier is there. So the main thing we're focusing on today is identifying text structures. And so in expository text in social studies classes, you're going to be seeing descriptive, fact and opinion, cause and effect, and sequence text structures. The main one we're focusing on today, though, we're going to focus on those descriptive text structures. So that gives you a description, maybe like a central topic, and some different facts about it. So we're going to be talking about that because that's something that you're going to see a lot in social studies classes, in history classes, also in the news, if you're ever researching something. It's not just in anything really nonfiction, you'll find that kind of text structure. So they are you really want to think about how the facts are organized, and since it's so common, you're going to want to be able to organize those facts in your head, just like how they're being organized in your readings. So here's just a little thing about descriptive text. This is about a loggerhead turtle. I know, very foreign to me as a history major, but you can see that there's a little reading up here. I know you can't read it from where you are, but the main subject is that loggerhead turtle. So you're going to start with the loggerhead turtle right there. Then you're going to think about the different headings or topics, main topics in the reading, and those will be going around the loggerhead turtle in these circles around it. And then as you go, you'll find different facts, and those will go out of those. So we can take that idea and apply it to our reading about the Persian Empire. So I have a little excerpt here from what you're going to be reading yourselves. So I'm going to help you think through what we're doing. So we're going to look at this, and right off the bat, you see kind King Cyrus in bold. And I see that, thinking about how it's in bold, I think, okay, that's probably important, since bold things are meant to catch your eye and make you think about them. They almost anchor what you're thinking of. So I'm keeping that in my mind as I keep going. And it says, one example was how he treated the Hebrews, who had been captives in Babylon for over 50 years. So I'm seeing that and I'm thinking, okay, this is talking about King Cyrus. So maybe King Cyrus will be my heading, my subsection, and my first fact might be that example of how he was kind to the Hebrew people. He allowed them to return to the holy city of Jerusalem instead of forcing them into slavery. He returned sacred items that were stolen from them and allowed them to build a capital and a temple. So that also sounds really important. So I'm going to circle that as well as a fact that I might want to come back to later. Cyrus also allowed the Hebrews to continue living and worshiping as they chose. Whoop. Cyrus's generosity, as it's saying, towards the Jews was not a one-time event. Compared to other rulers, he and the leaders after him were gentler to the people they conquered. Persian rulers cooperated with local governments and did not get involved much in matters that did not directly affect their rule. So that cooperation with local governments, that sounds like an interesting fact that I might want to come back to later. Excuse me. And Cyrus's generosity, you can tell that it's still about Cyrus. And as I'm going through this, I'm thinking, okay, this is a lot of facts, and it's all in a row, so it's probably an expository text. We know that because I'm giving it to you as an expository text. And since there aren't really any opinions here from the author, and there aren't any causes or effects, we're pretty sure that it's going to be a descriptive text. And then in our last paragraph, rather than destroy local colonies for their own gain, the Persians worked to increase trade throughout the kingdom. They soon made everyone use the same system of weights, official coins, and laws. So that also sounds really important for the reading. So I'd circle that as another possible fact, that they're all using the same system. All right, now, you saw it earlier with the loggerhead turtle. Let's take what we just read and put it onto this chart. So I'm thinking that the title is going to be Persian Empire, since that's the title of the article. And our first section was about King Cyrus. So he'll be our subheading, our heading, our first section. And if we look at what I had said, kind to the Hebrew people, worked with local governments, those were two of the important facts about him. So I'll put those off of King Cyrus. Now, you'll have a couple more headers to work with and a couple more facts to put in. So I'll leave that to you, and I'll be coming around the room to guide your practice. I also want you to think about how the text is described, what order it goes in, since you won't always have a graphic organizer like this. This is a good way to start thinking about how you think about history and social studies, and also just knowledge in general. Because rather than having this organizer on paper, you kind of want to have it in your head. When you think about the British Empire, you think about King Cyrus, and you think about how he worked with local governments. So I have a couple different ways for you to do this. If you need the headers filled out, I can do that for you. And then I have blank ones for the second reading about the Assyrian Empire, which came a little bit after them, and you'll learn more about in there.